name is TJ Hannafy. I teach a class of 9th and 10th graders at the International School in Bellevue, Washington. So over the next 2 days, my students are going to read a very important text, Letter from Birmingham Jail by Martin Luther King Jr. They're going to work collaboratively in groups to analyze the text and explore its central idea. They'll present their findings to their class. They'll engage in a class-wide Socratic seminar discussion. And then they'll do some argumentative writing where they consider the ideas that King wrote about and bring in their own views as well. When I start the day, the first thing I do is present a question to the students. Okay, welcome to class. Our question for today is, how can a writer craft her or his language to develop a main idea and reach an audience? Let's have a quick refresher of some of the context of the reading. We talked about this a little bit last time. What was going on in 1963 that caused Dr. King to be sitting in that jail cell writing this letter?
Jim Crow laws.
Okay, so what were Jim Crow laws?
They were the laws to do with segregation between blacks and whites.
Before students arrive, they should have read Dr. King's Letter from Birmingham Jail and used a strategy that we have called metacognitive markers, or just thinking notes. So your homework was to read through and use the thinking notes. So we didn't just want highlighted text, we wanted some of those particular thinking notes for your reactions to it. So let's start with the last one there, just something that was confusing. Did anybody put down a double question mark because it raised a question you wanted clarified today, something that was confusing to you?
Well, I was just wondering if that was also, like, if you don't know, like, what certain words mean.
Sure, absolutely.
So it's on the third page in the third paragraph. And I don't really know how to say it. It's like Z-E-I-T.
Zeitgeist, right? Anybody here familiar with the term zeitgeist? What they do is they mark on the text significant areas and also their reaction. So what is something I had a positive reaction to? What raised a question for me?
So on the first page, on the very last paragraph, it says, "It is rather strange and paradoxical to find us consciously breaking laws." So, is that basically like, do people naturally break laws, or?
I really enjoy working with 9th and 10th graders because they engage in the ideas and not just the task. I really expect them to spend a lot of time considering some of these challenging ideas about when is it a just act to break a law. I want you to write down, what do you think King's main idea is? What's the central idea he's trying to express in Letter from Birmingham Jail? Next, I have students get into small groups, and I have pre-selected these groups with tasks that are differentiated for their skill level in analysis of informative texts. I want students to be able to find those elements of the text, those specific moments that help build towards that big idea.
I feel like this whole paragraph is just like really, like bluntly challenging them.
Through the letter, he's trying to tell them that he's not going to stop until equal rights are realized. But I think what he's really like also trying to say in the letter is like why he's doing all of it. So that would be logos, right? So.
The reason why I have the groups differentiated is to center on their strengths. Some students are really ready to jump into some rhetorical analysis of an informational text and look for elements like ethos, pathos, and logos. Are there any particular ethos, pathos, or logos that are a little more difficult than the others?
Yeah, ethos.
Ethos is when King demonstrates that he's someone we should listen to. So if you show you have expertise, that's ethos. That's creating an ethos effect on the reader. Some of the students who had struggled so far, I gave a writing focus like identify tone and identify imagery that has a strong crossover between a literary text where they're more in their comfort zone. So you're looking for specific word choices and things like that?
Yeah, and then like big tone shifts too.
Okay, are you finding those?
Kind of. We found one or two so far.
Okay. Good. Right. He's not going to change tone every 3 sentences or anything. So if you find a couple over the course of the letter, then I think you should be able to come up with that.
Right, my question is it, it's not actually his words, he's quoting someone else. So does it still count as him employing imagery?
Sure. He's just employing somebody else's imagery. So for the next part, you're going to make a brief presentation. You're just going to make a one-slide PowerPoint. That's going to be all, just one particular slide, and this is all the content that's going to be on there. First, what did you agree on? What do you think King's main idea is?